you're chasing massive growth, right? How do you deal with that pressure at your age?
It is a lot of pressure for sure, but I personally love working. People call me like a nerd sometimes because of how much I like working.
In a world where marketing is evolving faster than ever, CMOs are becoming transformational leaders. Brands are being built on TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Marketeers are looking for more than just a spreadsheet. They need real conversations. And that is what we are trying to build with this podcast. The Brief is the name of the podcast. We are here to bridge this gap by inviting top CMOs, marketing directors of enterprises who are involved with B2B marketing and share with us their case studies, real-time experiences from where marketing leaders and aspiring marketing leaders and marketing managers can learn from. So welcome to The Brief.
Thank you.
So I think we wanted to know who you are. So I think it would be great to start with telling us a little bit about background about yourself and how did you end up being the marketing head of Neat?
Yes. All right. Hello. I am Raksha. I am 25 years old. From Chennai, born and brought up in Chennai. Lived in Bombay for most of my 20s. That is 5 years. Been into marketing for the longest time. I think I started working when I was 16 years old. I got into branding that time. I was a part of this founding team of this startup that used to work towards feminine financial literacy. So that's when I got introduced to like work in general because I was studying. I was in like 11th grade and then during my summer break, I joined this like startup and I was doing branding for them. So since the age of 16, I've been into branding, marketing, and slowly discovered the whole spectrum of marketing because it's just not marketing. There's so much in it. There's the branding side, there's the strategy side, there's the analytical side. Now I'm into B2B. So it's been a long journey in terms of when you ask me about marketing itself.
Right.
So from 16. Apart from that, I have a lot of hobbies. I play a lot of tennis. I like sketching and painting also, which kind of turned into designing. I also used to design before.
So what's a typical day look like at Neat?
I think no 2 days are the same, especially because I am a part of the APAC Marketing team. So Japan, ANZ, India, ASEAN, all of the campaigns kind of come under my role.
Right.
So my days can span from, for example, today being at an Exito manufacturing summit, to also just a whole day being on call with 4 different countries, deciding the campaign that we're running. It might be the same campaign that we're doing, but localizing it for Japan, to doing it for Philippines, or to doing it for India. The whole day just goes on that particular meeting. So no 2 days are really the same, depending on the campaign and the focus of the month that we
So
have.
what regions do you cover? Like you said, ASEAN, India is obviously covered. What other regions do you
So
cover?
ANZ, Japan, all Southeast Asian nations like ASEAN, I think Philippines, we cover Bangkok, Singapore, and then India, of course. India and SAARC. As of now, SAARC, there's not too much business happening, so India would be the main focus. I do that with my team. It's 5 of us in the APAC marketing team.
Right.
And I do have colleagues in ANZ, in Japan, in Singapore, and there's me. So
Okay.
we cover campaigns across APAC for Neat.
Great. So if we have to sort of differentiate markets, right? India being a standalone market, and then you have ASEAN, which includes Japan, which is quite different from the rest. What sort of marketing strategies would you utilize to cater to these specific markets? Because I think they buy differently, right?
Yes, very differently, especially because there are other markets like Europe or whatever are more homogeneous, I would say, compared to APAC, because it's super diverse. Like, and when you ask about strategy, like one strategy that would work in Japan would probably fall flat in India.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I said, like, when we work on campaigns, say the brief of the campaign would be, or the objective of the campaign would be XYZ, but the way we kind of implement it and the way we pitch it to each market, right? So as marketing, I planned this campaign.
Right.
Now my job is to kind of go to the Japan head, head of like director,
Region, yeah.
head of region for Japan, head of region for ANZ. I have to kind of pitch this campaign to them.
Right.
But how I pitch it to each of them also has to differ so much because, for example, in India, it's a price-sensitive market.
Yeah.
The way I approach the campaign would be like that. For example, Australia, so the sustainability factor works very well there. So I would put that in the front.
Got it.
So it really depends on how I kind of pitch it to that particular market, keeping in mind what works for the customers there.
Because I believe they all perceive things very differently, right?
Yes.
Because I've heard a lot about Japan, and I know that you have to be knowing the language, number one, and
Yes.
second, you also have to be a local to kind of do business over there, right?
Yes. So a lot of global campaigns are driven down to APAC also from NEAT. And none of that I can actually just directly copy paste. India, luckily, because it's a majority English speaking market, the work kind of is easier for me here. But Japan, I need to translate everything. Translation project is kind of one of our majority of the work that goes in every quarter. Because I need to translate the microsites, I need to translate the landing pages, I need to translate the product portfolios, explaining every technical detail of my NEAT devices in a Japanese language is again a very major project that we have to do to kind of localize that. So
Great. I think if you can give us an example of a campaign that you curated which resonated with all the regions, because I think marketeers typically are either head of EMEA or ANZ or APAC,
yeah.
right? Or rather, SCA. So tell us something that, that you executed in these markets which resonated equally to all the markets.
I think one campaign that worked very well, I wouldn't say all the markets again. It worked really well in India, Korea, in Singapore, and we're also trying that right now in ANZ, which is pitch to win. So for NEAT, there's two stakeholders, like just giving a bit of context.
Yeah.
There's customers and there's partners that we interact with. Partners are our resellers who basically do our business, resell, get us the revenue. And customers are the people who use our devices itself, the end users basically. So I kind of work on net new customer lead gen acquisition, partner acquisition, and then customer enablement, because it's not just a one-time buy device and then we never see the customer again. They use it on a daily basis. There's checks, there's anything that goes wrong with the device, our partners go in, do the checkup and stuff like that, right? So there's acquisition for both and then there's enablement for both. So there's one campaign that worked in, I would say the majority of the markets would be pitch to win, which was more on the partner side, where it was a partner enablement campaign that I was running, where and there's a lot of partners. NEAT has a bunch of partners because in APAC, we mainly sell through channel. Direct is very less. So we did pitch to win, where we basically asked all the partners, advanced pro partners, to kind of submit a pitch where they're talking about NEAT. We partnered with Microsoft for this, NEAT and Microsoft, and they submit basically a 10-minute pitch where they talk about how they sell to customers, NEAT plus Microsoft Teams technology and stuff like that. Then we kind of had 2-3 rounds of that, shortlisted. The final round had a panel of international management team of NEAT join in. And the winners of the particular campaign had a chance to go to Oslo, which is our headquarters, and experience our experience center there. So that way I was able to enable, we got 300 pitches come in across all of our regions.
Right.
So 300 partners kind of know a lot more about NEAT than they did before the campaign. And then apart from that, there was 18 partners who actually visited Oslo. And in terms of results also, the partner companies that actually won and participated started showing more revenue in the next 6 months. So I would say a complete circle was formed with that campaign, because from enabling partners to actually seeing results from that enablement was good. So that's one campaign, I would say.
So, okay. I think most of your campaigns work through the digital space, if I'm not wrong. So what digital space currently is, working for you guys? And how large of an impact does it have on your business? Or rather, your marketing play rather?
So digitally, I would say LinkedIn, because again,
is the main
the kind
platform.
of industry that we are in, right? We see AV. LinkedIn would be the biggest player in terms of a digital platform that helps us kind of grow the community. Again, because I said we work through partners a lot, community building is the core of everything that we do. So even on
Okay.
LinkedIn, community building is what I focus on. Or even when I do events like this, like for example, if I've gotten leads from a particular event, I focus on building a community of those people particularly. Because people like to buy from people, especially a device that is this expensive and is something that is very important in any workspace, right? So if I'm able to convince 3 people that this is a good product and they kind of like us, like the community that we're forming, then it automatically helps me sell to 3 other people.
Got it. And where do you run these communities?
Different platforms. So, like for example, say I've gotten 50 leads from a particular event.
Right.
I will probably host a webinar with those 50 leads, not talking about NEET at all, but clearly they're into tech and AI. So I'll bring in probably a speaker who's in that industry who's famous and do a workshop or like a webinar with them. So kind of continuously adding value is how I'm looking at building a community. Again, people like to buy from people. So if that is something that they like, automatically 4 other partners are going to come to me and sell again. So that is something I would say. And digitally, LinkedIn is the only platform I would give any credit to in terms of helping me. But apart from that, given the kind of devices and the industry that we're in, it's a lot of touch and feel.
Right.
So even now, if there's customers that are coming to our, say,
They want to see how it works.
yeah, they want to see how it works. That's why we have the devices here also.
Right.
But again, this is not enough. We need to actually really go for a demo to their office. If they want it for a conference room, we send 2 people who are a PS and a sales specialist who goes there, sets up the devices there. The customer actually sees how the device looks in that particular meeting room and then decides to buy. So it's a lot of touch and feel, which is why digital is just for awareness, I would say. I'm creating a lot of awareness digitally in terms of EDMs, email marketing, and stuff like that. Blogs. Yeah. So
So email works for you?
email, yeah, it does.
Right.
It actually really does. Especially if it's a thread, right? If it's followed up. For example, if there's an event that I do, then from that to say getting a demo, there's going to be 3 emails sent out to that particular person. Again, not spam kind of emails. It's very thoughtful. We spend a lot of time in creating the content that we send out on emails because I'm sure all of our inboxes now have like 80,000 unopened emails. So kind of working on every particular word that we put in on the subject also, I think really matters when it comes to email marketing.
Got it. So at our conversation earlier, you did mention that you're really young, right? So then you come with limited experience, is what I would like to believe. How do you feel, you are evolving at the pace at which the market is growing right now? Because it's a crowded market, right? A lot of noise, a lot of content out there, a lot of competition is also what I would like to believe, even to your brand.
Yes.
How do you, stand apart in terms of your campaigns and at the same time your brand?
I would say when it comes to NEET specifically, I'm kind of lucky because the kind of product that we have is great. So if I'm able to spread awareness and bring eyeballs to my product, then my product sells itself.
Okay, it can
So
work.
that so that way I feel like I'm lucky with NEET because it has really great products.
Yeah, I mean, what marketing tactics really works for you as an individual or for NEET, right? In the B2B marketing space particularly, because everybody's trying to do email marketing for that matter, right? Everybody's trying to create content, right? Everybody's trying to post regularly. These are like the fundamentals right now of marketing. But from your perspective, what do you think has worked for you? And possibly, what could work for other B2B marketeers?
So I would say B2B as an industry, digital has to be there. I would say continuously churning out content, doing customer testimonials, video testimonials, and stuff like that. It always has to kind of be there. But with digital, there needs to be a handheld array of physical either events, experiential campaigns where people come and actually talk to people who are selling neat, or human connection. That's what I'm talking about. I feel like digital has to be handheld with human connection to be able to sell anything really. Because just consuming content, everyone does it all the time. It's either on Instagram, or it's either an article that you're reading, or it's either in shorts where you're reading news. So just consuming content, people's retaining power has become really, really short. So just from digital, I would say you can't do too much, but having that human connection attached with digital is what can actually get you success.
Practically, you need to be seen everywhere, right?
Yeah,
So
out of sight, out of mind.
So
works.
you follow that approach.
Really, really works.
Yeah, so it's an omni-channel approach,
Yes.
right? So you start with digital, then you do events.
And then continue with digital.
Continue with digital,
Yes.
and then you pass it on to your sales.
Yes, and then they go do a demo.
They go do a demo.
Yes, and then
if
even
needed,
after, like even after customer has actually bought our devices or whatever, I do like a monthly newsletter to our customers that is basically talking about all the neat OS updates, the software updates that we have, any new customer that's come in where we have a video testimonial, so they talk about their use cases, so things like that, right? So it's really like a sandwich of digital, then like human, then digital and human, and I feel like not only for B2B, any other market,
Right.
even B2C, it has to be like that to kind of get the real.
Yeah. So I think you're working in a very high pressure environment with the company you're in currently. I think you said you're chasing massive growth, right? How do you deal with that pressure at your age?
It is a lot of pressure for sure, but I personally love working. People call me like a nerd sometimes because of how much I like working. So that way I enjoy the pressure, honestly. And given it's marketing, it's a new challenge for me every day. Challenge is a very overused word, I would say, but it's a new campaign that I'm doing every day. It's a new partner I'm working with every day. So I've been working with Microsoft Teams and Zoom for like the past 2 years. Now we're partnering with Google Meet. So I'm going to be working closely with Google Meet, also creating campaigns with them. So I think that's the very first reason I got into marketing, because of how exciting it is to kind of work in different campaigns, different partners, different people, different customers. And every day we're getting new customers in. So every day I'm interacting with new people and new campaigns. So that kind of takes off the pressure because it adds excitement there. But otherwise, that's
about it.
Yeah.
So how, I think since you've come into this space and you deal with, I think, multiple departments, and the key one being sales, if I'm not
Yes.
wrong. So how do you align everything, right?
That's
so
actually,
that
yeah.
there's less friction, because it's bound to happen, right?
Yeah.
Marketing and sales,
It's I think
universal friction.
it is. And I think the biggest responsibility of any marketing person would be to kind of have a very smooth relation with your sales team, with your product specialist, because if it's a tech company, of course, your product specialist, with your channel manager and with your regional head, also with your APAC and international head, because the global team is kind of driving the campaigns down. And it's my responsibility to kind of drive this campaign through my sales team, to drive it through the regional manager, and to drive it through the channel manager. So I think, like, for example, I ask a lot of questions. Like, I understand from my salesperson.
You take feedback.
Yeah. Asking questions, I think, is the first thing that you should do as a marketing person before doing anything else. Even before writing an idea down or writing a brief down, asking questions to your salesperson about, okay, you went for these 2-3 customer meetings. What question did they have? What was the blocker in that conversation that we were having? Did you probably need a neat shirt that you could wear and go to add to the sales? Even small things like if he could carry probably something that's neat branded to leave it in the office there when they go and do a demo. Right? Like from small things like that to even bigger conversations about which industry are we looking into right now? Is it manufacturing? Is it BFSI? So like asking questions and listening I think is the biggest thing that marketing as a role needs to do.
Yeah.
Because if you're able to do that well, you're already successful because you know what's happening out there. You're understanding what's happening out there, and then you're coming up with a solution. So
yeah, because I think I speak to a lot of marketeers, and many people have evolved from being a sales guy or a saleswoman, and then moving to marketing, I think it's just made their job get a little more easier.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
they understand what the sales guys go through, and they're also able to drive effective campaigns because they know what it takes to
Yeah.
sell end of the day.
And that's the most, I always tell my management also. So there's a lot of training that happens for the sales team, a lot of training that happens for the product specialist team. And I've always told my management team that marketing should be in all of these training, because I really need to know exactly what kind of word to use to define this technology, to also understand what exactly this technology is. So I feel like marketing as a role should be present in even the quality assurance trading that happens of a company, because we need to have that knowledge to be able to really form something that tells the customers what we are.
I think you manage, like you mentioned, you manage many teams across various geographies. What best practices you apply to maintain seamless communication with different geographies? Because I think you're working with multinationals, right?
Yes. Your question is about how I work with each of them separately, or is it about...
How do you maintain, how do you streamline the communication and work with multinationals across the globe? Because
Right.
like we mentioned, that the communication has to be different for different markets, right? So how do you make sure that this is all aligned and there's seamless communication across teams?
So there's actually a lot that goes behind that. It's structured.
I mean, if I may just add to that question, do you have any sort of task management tools that you have, which you maintain, which is easier for you to monitor to see who's doing what?
So there's structured weekly meetings that we do with every region. So on Mondays, I have it with India. On Tuesdays, I have it with, say, ASEAN. On Wednesdays, it's with Japan. On Thursdays, it's ANZ, right? So weekly structured meetings that has sections for each team to come in and kind of speak. So sales kind of speaks there, marketing speaks there. We kind of understand what is needed in every market, what campaign I'm planning for this month, what events are there in this particular market, which resource I'll be needing that week for what event. So things like that, right? Structured weekly meetings for sure. Apart from that, there's a lot of shared Excel files and Teams accounts that we use where everything, and we're a remote first company, right? So everything that we do is online. So a lot of shared files that are maintained, a lot of reports that we do on a weekly basis to kind of keep that sanity there while so much is happening, right? There's currently as we speak, 3 of my team members from APAC are in 3 different countries doing 3 different events, and I'm here right now doing this. So it is super chaotic, but to kind of keep it, and it should be chaotic, I feel, marketing should be chaotic. So kind of to keep that chaos, there's a lot of structured thing that goes behind the scenes to make it happen. And the second thing that always works for me, especially to handle these internal teams, is that keeping them involved from day one. So if I've gotten this idea, I keep it very candid with my sales team also. I just go up to this sales guy and I'll be like, I had this idea, what do you think about it? Like, so keeping them involved from day one has always worked for me. Because usually what I've seen what people do is that the whole campaign and objective and everything will be made into like a whole 10-page PDF, and then you go and pitch it. Then it feels very foreign to the guys you're pitching it to, right?
But do you also get pushback from these guys?
A lot.
Probably they might be more experienced than you, and they might be questioning your strategy or your plan or whatever it is.
Which is why involving them from day one has worked for me. A lot of pushback comes, honestly, especially from sales, given the roles of sales and marketing being as they are, right? So there's a lot of pushback that comes, which is why I didn't do this from day one, like the involving them from the idea phase. I was always the kind of person who would prepare the whole thing, break my head for 5 days, go to them with a whole plan, which got me a lot more pushback than now when I'm kind of doing it in a more human way, where I'm like, hey, I have this idea, what do you think? And they'll probably add into that idea. Then I'll go back, work a little bit more on it, come back, discuss it, then go back, work on the whole idea, then pitch it to the whole team together. So that's really, really been working for me for the last 6 months to 1 year. And I would really suggest, if anyone wants to make it smoother in terms of your pushback and feedback process, this would be the way.
So what are the most, what are the emerging trends that you have witnessed in the APAC market, right? And how are you positioning yourself rather to address these changes in these markets? And I never asked you this question. What does NEAT do,
Oh, yeah.
right? And how does it differentiate itself from its competitors?
All right. So I'll start with what Neat does.
Yes, it's two questions, but yeah.
So Neat is a Norwegian company. Our headquarters is based in Oslo, Norway. Fun fact, Oslo is also the video valley of the world, like how Silicon Valley is. So Oslo is known as the video valley. So all kinds of video collaboration devices from when it was founded has been made in Oslo. So Neat is from Oslo, Norway. We are into video collaboration devices. So all the likes of your sound bars, your Neat boards where you can do in-room collaboration meetings is all that like Neat does. And we have a super compact portfolio. We have about 7 to 8 devices that we sell, but it covers all kinds of in-room solutions. And we have 2 major technology partners, one being Microsoft Teams, one being Zoom. Again, for easier understanding, Zoom and Microsoft Teams are software. Neat does the hardware for it. So we provide the hardware where you can natively host Teams and Zoom. Apart from that, we have a bunch of patented features, which was launched in 2019, which I wish I could show you. But there's something called Neat Symmetry, where if you join a meeting from a laptop, for example, the kind of view that you would get of a conference room would be the tables would come in, the keyboards and the cables on the table would come in. If there's someone eating food, that would come in on the camera as well. What Neat Symmetry does is that the AI in the hardware tracks 2 eyes and a nose, right? So if there's 8 people sitting in the room, the far end, which is who you're doing the meeting with, will see 8 different frames.
Okay.
And if I stand up and move around, the AI will follow me. So that's the Neat Symmetry feature, which I think is a hit. And a lot of companies...
So no other company offers something like this yet?
No. So there have been companies that have copied us before we patented it, which is happening like right now also. Right. But the differentiator is that our competitors basically have it on a software level because Microsoft Teams kind of provides that. But Neat has it on a hardware level. So no matter whichever platform you use, you'll still get the symmetry feature. So that's one of our patented features. We have like about 5-6 features like that really stand apart. And apart from that, Neat as a word, the name itself comes from how our devices actually look. They work great, but they look even better. And if you just go onto our website, see any of our devices, you can call it Neat, is what I'll say. And we also like have this thing where we use the word simple a lot, simple in our bland language, because I'm a very non-technical person, but I can set up a whole 50 inches Neat board by myself because that's how simple it is.
What's a Neat board?
Neat board is an all-in-one integrated system with an interactive display, audio, video, mic, sound, and everything, where you can do video collaboration, basically.
Right. So I think, I would relate to my earlier question with you. In terms of emerging trends. And when we talk about emerging trends, AI is a big buzzword, right? How do you see AI and automation being integrated in today's world, and especially in your organization?
Oh, my organization lives and breathes AI and machine learning. I think I would say way more used term. I wouldn't say term, like it's applied, machine learning is applied a lot more than AI right now. And because just AI is the buzzword, everyone just confuses machine learning with AI. But Neat lives and breathes machine learning and AI because our entire hardware and the software, we also do have software, is all built with using AI and machine learning. So I would say, there's no relevance. It is AI and machine learning. Like I wouldn't say it's 2 different things, Neat and AI. So
great. How do you differentiate yourself? I would believe you're a modern day new age marketeer.
Yeah.
Right? And how do you differentiate yourself from all the marketeers which are out there who've been, doing this for the last 20 years? Right. Not to, say that they are doing relatively different stuff, but I just want to know, how do you think different?
I think I have, like I said, right, I started working at the age of 16. And that was always from into the brand and marketing side of things only. And I handle teams right now also, where my team does content creation, my team does like designing, my team does content writing, right? Things like that. I started at 16. I was a designer, graphic designer myself, where I had like 20 posts to design in 10 hours, things like that, right? And apart from graphic designing, I've also I've done a lot of things on ground level for like the longest time. For the first 5 years of my life, I actually did designing. I actually did caption writing, where nowadays people just use chat GPT, but I used to sit and actually think of captions and write like about 30 captions a day and things like that. So
Without generative AI.
without generative AI. So I've done everything from ground zero, which is why now when I handle teams who are actually designing, I know what timelines are actually required, right? So that way I feel like I'm a better leader because I've been there, I've done that. And it helps me lead better and also helps my team work better because I can really help my designer design better because I've done designing. So I think that's what differentiates me from other marketeers because I've really been there, done that. And yeah.
All right. So you're just trying to say that you filled in the shoes of a designer, probably sales.
Yes.
What else?
Content writing.
Content writing.
I've done website designing also.
Website designing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've done like, I would say in marketing, I've done almost
a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything for sure. Yeah.
At an execution level.
At an execution level, which is what I think till date works for me. And even now, I don't mind getting on ground and like getting my hands dirty because that's what I think really makes. And I feel like I would be the same even when I'm 60 and I have like 50 years of experience because that's what matters at the end of the day. And sorry, and just one more thing, I really like listening. So even if we're at events and everything, right? Of course, I know a lot. I know the most about Neat compared to like, because I've done my research and all of that. Even till date, I'd like to sit in on pitches and meetings that my product specialist and sales team take, even though it's like the 100th meeting for me. But I really like listening, and that curiosity of just listening to them talk every time for the 100th time also, I learned something new.
Any interesting tool that you've found out lately? Because as a marketer, I'm sure you see a lot of tools coming up, right? To just make sure your job is getting more easier. I mean, generative AI is just one tool, and it's broken down into many tools from content to video to generating images and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
What tools you think you have discovered lately that could be of help to any of these viewers?
Gamma AI.
Okay.
So
what does it do?
It can make presentations for you. It also does generative image building, so similar to what ChatGPT does. It can do that as well. I think the presentation part is a great help for someone who is either into sales or marketing. Right? For example, if I have an idea as a marketeer and I don't have too much time to kind of sit and make a whole presentation, I put in my prompts. I can drop. It's like Dropbox also, so I can drop in my logo, the brand colors, and things like that. And in seconds, it makes me a PPT. At least the base. Once I have that base, then I can spend another half an hour in it, like on the presentation, and I have like a really good PPT ready. So Gamma AI is something that I discovered, I think, a few months back, and I've been using it here and there. So that would be one. I'm trying to think of what else I can mention.
For sales?
For sales,
Nothing interesting?
no, I wouldn't know. I'm not sure.
All right. And have you used stuff to automate things internally when it comes to AI?
Automate in the sense? Like what?
Many tasks, like, like day in, day out tasks. Have you been able to automate them through AI by any chance?
I
Or
feel like
it's still running the traditional way, or you're still figuring out that stuff?
So the general like email scheduling and stuff like that, where once a person is into our Marketo, we use Marketo for like lead nurturing and stuff like that. So once the lead is into Marketo, the automated emailing that goes out, schedule timings, all that's been done for sure. But I think AI mainly, I use it, and even my team uses it to kind of speeden up the process, right? So faster execution of all our campaigns ideas, just copy writing and stuff like that. I think speed is what AI has really helped with in terms of internal processing of campaigns and stuff.
Great. So I think we as a company are into events.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of B2B events globally, I think across 18 to 20 countries. What would be interesting to know is how has events really impacted the growth of Neat,
Yeah.
right? Do you think it really works, and what sort of impact do you feel it has on your marketing campaigns?
So 80% of our marketing efforts goes into events.
Right.
So which it's a big part, I would say. Lately, we've been, I think the last couple of years, digital is kind of it's trying to come in. So I would say now it would be 30 and 70, but 70% is still events for us. And all kinds of events. I wouldn't say it's just Neat organizing events where we call in focus group of customers. It's also participating in industry events,
Right.
Looking into different sectors, for example, manufacturing, for example, BFSI, right? So it's played a huge role in terms of everything that I do at Neat. And again, like I said, Neat, and most of the B2B companies have a lot to do with touch and feel, and events really help you do that. And I would say just doing events is one thing, but how thoughtfully you curate those events and every element that you add in that really, really matters. For example, we were at Infocom India last year,
Right.
where there's about like 200 booths of like our competitors there, other people in the AI industry, AV industry. And I can actually, confidently say that our booth was the best one there based on the feedback that I got. A lot of people came and told me that we had the best stall or the booth there because we got a 80 square meter booth, and I basically made an office in that booth. So you enter the booth. Usually it was an island booth, right? So people usually enter from everywhere. Usually the booths are. But here I made it like a whole office where you enter, there's a reception. And because ours is a workspace device, right? So in the reception, there was 2 Neat devices kept. And then you enter a bit more, there's a pantry where there's a coffee machine kept. And then there's like tables and chair. And one of our Neat devices are there in use. And then I made a whole meeting room. So just an 80 square meter booth, I gave the customers that came in there a whole office experience. A real-time experience. And they could really picture our device in their meeting room or in their pantry or in their reception desk. So things like that, right? So how you do these events and how much focus and attention you play to like every small element, I think really matters. And it's all about the experience. You can't just go there, put your devices, give out a brochure and call it a day. There's a lot more that you need to do to kind of make that happen for you.
How do you measure the impact of an event? Right, I think most of the hard work is not only before the event, but also after the event.
Yes.
Right, so how do you measure your outcomes and your impact?
Right. So there's a bunch of different KPIs. It's a funnel, right? Like there's a lot of people that come in as leads, and then there's a few that get converted into being hot or warm leads where they're actually interested. They have meeting rooms. I'm going to talk very specifically here, where they have meeting rooms and requirements. Say they have 5 meeting rooms and they need 7 devices to kind of do video collaboration meetings there. So they come into the second part of the funnel. And then there's the third part where they actually do a demo with us. And then after the demo, there's the fourth part where they end up buying a device. So it's like a funnel, and each funnel has different KPIs where we measure, right? The first one is the number of leads that come in. So if I'm doing an event, if I'm doing a digital campaign or whatever, am I getting 80 leads out of this? If I've spent, say, $100 per lead, then I kind of calculate the ROI that I'm getting from that. Then from the 100 leads that I've gotten, how many have actually converted to being hot or warm? How many of them are just people who wanted to know or just get a freebie to actually, having requirement, like original requirements that they have. Okay. Yeah. And then from that, having requirements, who actually has the budget to kind of really invest in a video collaboration device? Then we do a demo. So it really, the KPI and the ROI really depends from the part of the cycle that you're in. So, yeah.
So from my understanding, your KPI would still be the kind of outcomes that you get out of your campaigns?
outcomes, again, like outcomes could be anything, right? Outcome for me would be number of leads generated, or it could be the amount of revenue that I've gotten. So if I got 100 leads
So
from
what would
this,
be your KPI, to be specific?
first KPI would be leads. I'm measured in the number of leads that we get in. I'm also measured in the conversion rate for each cycle from stage 1, 2, 3,
Stage
4,
two,
right?
3, 4.
So that's my second KPI, where if it's a 30% conversion, 20% conversion, 10% conversion. Then the third thing is the managed pipeline of revenue that I kind of get from the leads that I have. So there's 3 different KPIs or outcomes.
Right. So I think you're at the stage where you're, rapidly trying to grow the brand and also spread awareness. What sort of advice would you like to give marketers who are trying to, sell their brand or market their brand in the APAC market?
It's a very interesting market, first. I think one advice I would give is that it's a very common known thing that marketing is all about noise. And like, yeah, it is. It's about storytelling. It's about noise. But I feel like more than noise, it's about value. So if you're able to show up with relevance and authenticity, it'll take you a long way. So I would say, don't focus on the noise, focus on the value that you're adding and show the relevance to the customers and the audience, and you'll really, really go a far way.
I think your customers can become your advocates.
Yes.
Right. I think, like you said, I think you're trying to build communities.
Yeah.
I think part of your communities will also be some of your customers.
Yes.
And also your customers, become your advocates eventually, and then they give references and then you get more
Yes.
business, right? That's how it works, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, very much, especially in the industry that we are in. Like I said, people buy from people in this industry. Honestly, nothing else works. So even if they see an ad or whatever, if they see us, they like the product, they will ask for other people. It's like buying a phone also, no? If you're looking at buying a Google Pixel, you'd want to know one other person who's using Google Pixel, and it works.
If I can add to that, how do you define a persona of your customer or your prospect?
For us, it's ITDM, so IT decision makers, the CIO, Chief Information Officers, because the team basically that looks after the tech in the company, the information. It's a very direct, specific
job title.
Yeah, it's ITDMs and CIOs, and of course, to kind of like expand it, even the HR team kind of plays a role because they look into the office and the employee experience and stuff like that. So even for big companies, HR team kind of comes in, and then the CEOs, of course, because they are kind of deciding for the whole company. But one short answer would be ITDMs for us.
Great. So what's next for Neat? Because I think it's quite interesting with what you guys are doing. I mean, this was something new to me that you told me about the kind of specific feature that it has.
The Neat Symmetry.
What's next for Neat? I mean, is there more innovation coming?
Yes.
Right. Is there something exciting that you could tell us about?
A lot of exciting things, to be very honest. I think in 2024, we launched 2 new devices, which is a huge thing, like launching. There's a lot of R&D. I feel like the R&D team in Neat is the biggest team in Neat currently, because there's a lot of time. There's years and years that they've spent on each device, each feature that's there in the hardware. And I feel like there's a lot of R&D that's been happening for the last 2 years. And we're kind of at the end of the cycle where we're looking at launching a few things by the end of this year and the start of next year. So a lot of new tech, a lot of cool tech, I would say, coming up for Neat for sure.
And also integrated with AI.
100%. Nothing goes without it, for sure. I think we started using 2019. It wasn't even that much of a buzzword, AI. I feel like it had just started then. We've been integrated with AI since then.
Right.
So
I think a lot of aspiring marketers would be, watching us. What would be your advice to them? Why do they need to pursue marketing, right? And how do they get to a position like yours at the age of 25?
I would say 2 things that's worked for me. Actually, one thing that's worked for me is being curious. I have to be curious about what the trends in the industry are or what the trends in the market are. I have to be curious of how my customers are actually feeling. I have to be curious about what my sales team is, facing an issue with, or what's the blocker for my sales team. Because without curiosity, there's no will to learn. And without learning or without listening, you can't really execute a campaign which is going to be successful. So really, honestly, being curious, intentfully curious has worked for me. That's what I would say.
Well put. So, with final remarks, is there anything you would like to add to this conversation that possibly I've not addressed or asked you about?
I'm trying to think if there's something I can cover or whatever. No, I guess I think we're good. It was
Perfect.
really, yeah.
All right. I mean, thank you very much for joining us in this podcast. All the best with all the goals and all the products coming up with Neat. And again, thank you very much for taking time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
It was really fun to do this with you.
Same
and
here.
I'm really excited to work with Exito going forward.
We equally are.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching our podcast. Do share, comment, like, give us feedback so that we can come up with better and interesting conversations with marketeers. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.